good, guys? It is your boy Wally J, and today I'm bringing you guys another Aion 2 video. And this is definitely following what I've dropped before. If you guys haven't already gone and checked out my Pantheon video, I highly recommend doing that. Obviously, pets and the Pantheon, they are related because they are going to affect how effective some of your stats are. But these are two categories in which that you can grind out, you can optimize, and they will never show up within your CP. So I could literally sit here and be at 2800, 2816, as you guys can see, and I could have done no pet farming, and I could have done nothing in the Pantheon, right? And I would still be at 816, but my stats would be way worse, right? I would effectively be like a fake 2800 is almost how it feels. So just to kind of show you guys where my stats are right now, kind of what they're looking like. I am also going to throw one up right above my head here of what my stats used to look like. And this is just a week's worth of work of grinding this out. I do believe this top one right above my head is showing me with buff. So I will show you guys what that looks like, right? I do have a little bit less crit, but I have way more accuracy. I have way more crit hit resist. And even more importantly, I have way more block, which I was not able to find a clip that showed me how much block I had. I more so wanted to show you guys, number one, how really these stats have just already changed, and also focus on how these potency stats have increased and upgraded. So let's go ahead and get into the pets. I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown of the pets. And ultimately, after I share this, you guys should know everything you need to know about pets, where you need to farm, what you need to farm, or maybe not where, but what you need to farm, and ultimately how to figure out where to farm them. So we'll do just very, very high level here. The pets in this game, almost every single mob out in the open world can be farmed for pets. There are even mobs in dungeons. There are literally mobs all over the place that will drop a soul, and that soul, once you get to a certain amount, will allow you to use them as a mount. As you continue to collect more souls, that mount will level up even more. So for instance, right now, this is the mount that I am particularly riding. I love how he looks, and my goal is actually to focus on grinding him out, get him to level 5, so I can actually have all of the benefits of him. However, I will say this guy is not in the Elios zone. He is only in Asmo zone, so I do have to go over to their side to be able to find that. So, but as I level up my Berserker, right, so as I kill more of these guys, so effectively what I need to kill is about 510, somewhere around there. I think that's the exact number, but I could be wrong. But you need about 500 pets to get any pet. You need to kill it 500 times to get it to level 4. So I can show you now, right? We can hit this slider. Once I get this pet, and this will be for every single cogni that I have in here, or every single cogni that you have, right? I believe there's about 41 of them. You are going to get these stats. So each cogni is going to give you about 60 HP, about 10 crit, about 2 might, about 2 intelligence, and an extra 0.1% against cogni, that specific species. This is a stat that you will always have, right? This is not a, hey, I need to be making sure that I'm running this pet to have this stat. No, as long as you have grinded these up, these will be blanket stats that are just added to your character. That's what cogni give. Like I said, HP, crit, might, and intelligence. Farah, they are going to give mount ground move speed, accuracy, dex, intelligence, and a Farah boost. One thing to notice is cogni and Farah will both give intelligence. So this is something that does get doubled up as you level up pets. The other ones, this third stat does never gets doubled up within any of the pets, only the fourth one. Next, for the Natura, they are going to boost your MP, your crit hit resist, your precision, your willpower, and then you get a Natura boost. Pretty customary for this level 5 to always get a damage boost against that species. Lastly, we have the Varian. The Varian are going to reduce that stamina cost, give you evasion, constitution, willpower, and a Varian damage boost. So for those of you guys who do not know what these stats in here even do, which I know we have this small tool tip, but effectively what this is going to do is it is a potency stat. So look at it kind of like the destruction. It's going to give a percentage. It's going to give you more based on how much of it you have. So if I had no attack, for instance, I would get nothing from this might. If I had no accuracy, I'm going to get nothing from the dexterity, right? Or if you know, if I didn't have block or crit resist, I'm gonna get nothing from the dexterity, to say the least, right? Or the precision, excuse me, precision's for accuracy and crit. I'm effectively gonna get nothing, right? However, when I do build it and I do start to get more of it, once you get to 200, it's basically an extra 20% on that value. So if I have 1,000 and I have 200 precision, I effectively have 1,200 accuracy, and 200 of that is actually coming from this precision stat. Might, like I said, it's going to increase your attack. Dex is pretty much like defensives, evasion, block, crit. Precision is going to be, hey, I want to touch it, and I want to do big damage with the accuracy and critical hit. We then have HP, which is the other fourth stat that we could only build one of. So each pet builds these. One pet builds Constitution, the other builds Might, Dex, Precision. And then we have two sets of pets, right, that will build Intelligence and Willpower. This is very important because these effectively are your status effect chance and resist. And effectively the game is giving you them for free as long as you farm out all of the mobs. So just keep that in mind, especially as you're building stuff onto your items. You really will not need willpower, and you really will not need to build intelligence. Okay, so what do these give you in the long run? These guys give you an insane amount of stats. I'm gonna throw this right here in the middle so y'all can read it for yourselves, but I'll just read over some of the numbers, and maybe even some of more of the important numbers, right? So biggest, just kind of going down the list, we're almost getting 3,000 health from HP, which is nuts. This does not include the buff from Constitution, which we are also getting an extra 92, which is very close to 100. So basically an extra 10% on this. So literally a little over 3K health. Just from farming pets. We do get over 212 intelligence just farming pets. So that's why I say, like, it's really not worth building, and you will have the max status effect chance that you could possibly have. And some classes really want this, some classes maybe not. But I think everybody has a form of CC that they want to make sure it hits. Might, we only get 82 might, but typically most people are building that might on their weapons, and that should be easily well into the 130s. So as you build out this might, you will get to that 200 stat as well. We then get to crit hit resist. You're gonna get 410 crit hit, 480 resist. Like I said, very important. These are very important stats. Crit hit resist is actually extremely important for whether or not you want to actually be tanky or not. We're getting about almost 2K. Well, this is it's like 1.75, whatever, but almost 2K MP. And this is actually a massive number, because if you consider how much MP you get just from the passive within the Arcana tree, if you have a 2-piece magic, it only gives 1,500. This is effectively more than what that one passive will give you. Obviously that's going to help you stay sustained, but effectively you should probably have no mana issues after you truly farmed out Natura. Next we're going to see that 96 precision, which is just going to boost our crit hit and our precision, our crit hit and our accuracy. I have not really farmed out Natura. I am working on that. My focus has been on Pharah first, then Natura, and then I'm probably going to go to Cogni and then Varian, just because I don't necessarily care for the evasion that the Varian gives, but it's not a bad stat to have. So but yeah, you're gonna get about 96 precision, which is almost 100%, extra 10% on what you're gonna be getting. Almost 200 willpower, 188. So you may want to build one more piece with willpower on it just to get to that 200, but I would say it's probably negligible. Like I said, 400, almost 500 crit resist. We do get some really nice bonuses with the movement speed, the stamina cost reduced, things like that. The big one though is we get over 130 dex, which means that I effectively, if I farm out all of my Pharah pets, I really only need to build dex on about 3 items. The other stat that I probably want to build outside of dex is constitution, where I can. So I can just be, as tanky as possible, right? But that's a really big number. This is the highest stat value that we get, the highest potency stat value we get just from farming pets. And that's just because there are a lot of Pharah. One thing I will let you guys know now is that I have heard that when Q2 drops, we're getting a whole bunch more pets. So it's really nice to know, I should say, that you probably will not have to max this out, right, to get to these later thresholds. There will be pets that you didn't have to farm. It's not like, hey, you need a 100% the pet list to be able to get max stats. No, you're going to be able to kind of focus in on some, maybe even the better mobs, and be able to push a couple to the side, just because we were going to have too many pets for the stat values to say the least. Cool. So another big two that I wanted to mention is you're getting almost 700 accuracy. I was sitting at 650 accuracy when I first started farming pets. I effectively am going to double that, and that does not include, like I said, the buff from precision. This is really almost 700 accuracy just from pets. And then also, like I said, people who do build evasion, you're getting almost 500, probably a little over 500 evasion just from pets. So that's why I wanted to come on here and just share this with you, because it's not just oh hey, yeah, I get like a nice little 5% here. No, this is like half of the value in which you can build. And in terms of like potency stats, the only way you're gonna get to that max value in some of them is by grinding out the pets. So that's pets. Those are the stats you're gonna get. Like I said, it is insane. Now, how do you find them? Where do you find them? How am I gonna get these pets, right? Every pet, right, is gonna have a source. I wanted to show y'all the Varg Berserker specifically because I am on Elio side, and Elio side, we're gonna have different pets, a little bit different pets than Asmo side. The Varg Berserker is actually over in Asmo side in Black Claw Village. So during Rift times, it does make a lot of sense to go over there and effectively pet grind. It sucks that this is the end game, but once it's done, it's done. So all I've been doing is really I'll choose a couple of mobs on their side. I'll go over, I'll still PvP flag, so I'm effectively getting my pet farming in and I'm getting some PvP in. But that's a very good thing to notice, right? If it does not show an actual location, it's either on Asmo side or it's actually in a dungeon. So I'm gonna show y'all, not this dude. Drana, where is he? Where are they? These guys. So this is the Crow Seal Guardian, right? We all know where this dude is. He's in Crow Cave. However, he does not say where he's actually from. We're lucky enough to see the Crow Seal Guardian here, right? But same thing with this Rotan. We can farm this Rotan in Fire Temple, but it just does not share that is a location to go and find them. So, and I've noticed actually a lot of variant are found in dungeons. So that we're gonna have to take some time, use them entries to hop in there and then farm that out. So, biggest thing I wanted to share is just because the source does not have an actual location does not mean the pet is not farmable. I would say number one, check the enemy faction side, and then number two, check dungeons. The only ones I have found that are truly unfarmable and extremely hard to farm are going to be guys like this. This dude is a boss within Draupnir. I'm just not going to have, the ability to just straight up farm him. I could keep going to Draupnir for sure and farming out more stuff, but it's just going to take a long time. But even still, right, I'm sitting at 2 rather than, I'm sitting at level 2 rather than like if he at 1. So it's not impossible to get these things up. There is a way to also get them through like pet chest and your daily dungeon, as well as being able to buy them through the Black Cloud Merchant. But I'll talk to you a little bit about that here in a second. I want to take some time to just go over the Genus Insight. Genus Insight, this is also something that's going to be very important. How do you level up this Genus Insight? How do you get these things up? Is number one, farming the pet. As you farm more pets, those souls get added into here, the Cogni Insight, or the Farah Insight, whatever species you may be farming at the time. And this is effectively going to level this up. A very important level to get to is level 4. Level 4 is when you are going to start seeing things like PvE attack, and that's just going to help you deal more damage within PvE, and then you get even better stats as you continue to push this down into the higher levels. At level 7, you start to see legendary stats. So just kind of to show you this here, right? I'm starting to see legendary stats, and these are going to help me drastically. Now, how do I get these stats? Because ultimately, you do not get every single one of these all of the time. You have to actually equip this pet and be able to ride it or transform into it or whatever. That pet has to be equipped for you to get these. So I mentioned that I am on my Varg Berserker, which means I do not get these. I do not get these special stats. I only get the Pharah stats. However, when I do switch up, I will throw on the Luigi just to get some of those stats. I just like the Varg Berserker. He's my guy. That's it. That's literally why I run him. But like I said, if I wanted to get these stats, I would run on my hidden Luigi or my Swift Luigi. Now, how do I level this up, right? So I wanted to come back here to the special. I did buy a battle pass. The reason I bought the battle pass is because they give you a free special mount, basically free, right? They give you a free mount through there, and it is special. You only need one to unlock this Genus Insight. And the reason that's important is because you do want to get all of these to level 10. And I'll show you all here why in a second, because one of the best titles in the game for PvE damage is going to be based on getting all of these to 10. Before I do that though, I just want to show you guys what it looks like to level this up. So I actually had like 7,000 crystals when I first learned this, and I said, you know what, forget it. Let's see how much I can boost this up and go that way, right? I really don't want to roll this right now, so I'm not going to do that, but I will show you guys on this Pharah one because these are not the best. But when you actually hit analyze, it does boost this level here, which is very important, right? Because this is how you're actually going to level up the special. That is how my special is at level 9. I've pretty much used all of the crystals to throw in there, right? Now, how do I get more of this crystal, right? You are actually going to look to farm, and it's actually kind of cool to see that that crystal changes up here. Because this yellow, green, red, what is this? Blue crystal are actually going to get farmed after you get a pet to level 5. So, kind of going back here, if I was able to farm this Luigi somewhere, when I killed him, instead of getting a soul, I'm now going to get a crystal, and that crystal is going to be able to get used to level up, you know, Pharah or whatever. So what I would recommend is definitely go ahead and get the battle pass. I know. I'm sorry, we got to spend a little bit of bread. Hopefully that does change come NA. I'm really hoping that they make it so that the battle pass is something that you can earn in the game. And focus on leveling up your, with all of the crystals you get, focus on leveling this here. These are ones that you will actually be able to farm out because of, like I said, you'll be able to farm the crystal. You will also be able to, like I said, farm these mobs. So you're gonna get unbound by Genus. You're getting almost really 7% extra damage boost, just straight up damage boost in PvE, which is massive. This is the most I think I've seen of anywhere. It's this title right in here. You basically need to reach all Genus levels, level 10. So lastly, one thing I wanted to mention that may help you with your pet grind, something that I am doing every single day or trying to do every single day, is number one, at the start of the week, because I have a good amount of enhanced stones, and because we get enhanced stones from breaking down gear and from the raid, it really makes a lot of sense to run the Odilium repository. This is going to give you pet souls. So every week when I reset, I just go ahead. I've been going ahead and farming out all of these, getting the pet souls. Depending on what pet souls I get, I'll look at my pets and I'll say, okay, cool. Some of these are close to 4, some of these are close to 3, and I'll just go farm them out to get that level really fast, just to maximize that. And it kind of helps it keep it a little fresh, right? Because I'm not going to the same mob every single time. You definitely want to figure out which genus you want to level up. Like I said, I focused on Pharah because I really wanted the accuracy and the dex. Those are the number 2 things that I could probably be building right now. My goal after that is to build a Natura because I do want that precision. I want that crit hit resist. And then I'll probably, like I said, dive more into the might to get more damage, get more crit, get more HP, and probably end in Varian so I can get the maximum there, right? But this is going to be dependent on your class. I have a lot of people, I know a lot of people who are farming out Varian first because they want to build as much evasion as possible. That's just what you need, right? So understand kind of what your class wants to build, focus in on it, find that genus, and be able to go there. Now, what am I doing every single day to be able to get there? I've just logged in, so you guys can kind of see I have not really been on too much this week. I was out a lot yesterday, but every single day you are going to get a daily Kina cap. Mine is going to reset at in like 3 hours or 2 hours right now. So I'm very obviously behind on that, like as I did not play yesterday. But my goal every single day is to farm this to 100% by focusing on what pets I need. And that's not because you can't farm souls after Kina Cap, you actually can, but you want your time to be used as efficiently as possible, right? So if I'm farming pets, I also want to be able to, you know, get resources that they're dropping, and I want to be able to get that Kina. Effectively, when I'm done, I will probably start doing dungeons, or I'll go PvP just because I'm not getting as much. Another thing to notice too, or to note too, is you can farm pets in the Abyss, and you are not capped Kina wise within the Abyss. So that means you can infinitely farm pets within there, and there are some pets that are only exclusive to the Abyss. So just keep that in mind. Cool. But I hope that helped you guys. If you liked it, definitely leave a comment, like the video, and subscribe. I'll be dropping some more videos here soon. My next video is probably going to be detailing out where my armor is, and really what I'm doing to kind of maximize it. I'm going to talk a little bit more about Abyss stats to kind of start rolling on pieces of gear as you get to endgame. Without further ado, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.